Hey guys, Samsonite Bricks, back again with my second review. And today I'm going to be looking at set number 7590, Woody and Buzz to the Rescue. This is from the original wave of Toy Story sets way back in December of 2009. Or at least that's when I got it. Back then it retailed for $19.99 in the US, and where I got it in Canada, $26.99. This set had 92 pieces and two minifigures, being Woody and Buzz Lightyear, the two main characters in the entire franchise. So this was a set that, when I got back then, it was a very fun experience. Because back when the set came out, I was like 9, and I'm still into Toy Story now, but this was like peak back then. So now the intro's out of the way, we'll take a look at those figures. So first up, we're going to look at Sheriff Woody himself. This figure, for 2010, was very detailed and advanced, and we had so many new pieces introduced with this one figure. The legs, which are a whole stud size bigger than most minifigure legs. The arms, which are also extended to get the proportions, because in the movies, Woody is taller than most of the other characters, so I get what they were doing. And Woody also features this, for the time, incredibly molded head with amazing detail that looks so much like the character that it almost kind of looks like an action figure head was ripped off and put on the head. It's similar to the Simpsons series of figures and sets from 2014 that also used molded heads to get the cartoon proportions. The new Toy Story sets coming out this year, which is part of the reason why I'm reviewing this set right now, is because I'm also about to record a thoughts video on the new sets. They use normal minifigure proportions for the legs, the arms, and the heads. And I'm going to get into the thoughts video as to why I think the new way is better. This way is great for what we had back in 2010, but I definitely think the newer figures are better. Now, I definitely prefer Woody as a character, but the Buzz Lightyear minifigure was always my favorite of the two of them. You can tell that this set is 10 years old because of all the scratches and the paint on the buttons and on the face, because, I've had this almost 10 years now. But the figure uses normal proportions for the legs and arms, but has this extremely intricate molded head, which, again, to me, it looks good for the character, but it just, when you have the normal figure legs and arms, the molded head kind of just stands out as different. But I will show you how all that armor looks in a second. And we can see how it looks from the back with the wings out. And of course the wings, the wings just pop out. So you could give him like a look of not having his wings out. You could also take the glass part of his mask out. Come on. There we go. So he kind of looks more like what he looks like most parts in the films where he doesn't have that stuff out. Removing that armor piece lets you see that he has like a Star Command logo still on his torso. And I think you guys could be able to see it. That head really stands out when there's no armor. Like, it doesn't look natural. There's also a little bit of printing on the back. But I do think this figure is the better of the two. But they both have not aged tremendously well. Before we look at the RC vehicle, we're just going to take one quick look at the different pieces of Buzz's armor right there. The wings, they just go into a peg on the side of the armor, and that's on both sides, and the glass part just goes into those three little holes on top. So I guess technically RC also counts as a character because it's a sentient toy in the movie as well. So, third character in the set, we have RC, and RC is built up very well with some exclusive printed pieces. There's one there, and there's one parallel on the other side, and there's the printed piece up there. And they really give the look. Like, this really screams RC from the movie. And they use the handlebars up front to give the spoiler kind of thing that the car has at the front. One thing that's really cool about this is that it features a pullback motor, if I can get the zoom out there. And this motor will just go until it crashes. So let's see if we can just, I mean, you know, I don't want to like destroy my review set, but it will just go. And if you rev it back hard enough, those wheels will carry it far. So I remember running this down my hallway all the time when I was younger. You know, it's only a 92-piece set, so there's not a lot. A lot of the build here is actually using this one giant engine part at the bottom. This is almost like a prototype junior set because it has one giant piece that forms like the base of the entire vehicle, but it's what allows it to drive, so I don't knock that. There's just not a lot to talk about with the vehicle. So now we're going to look at the last build of the set. The last build in the set, of course, is this rocket ship that, or the firecracker that Sid tied Buzz to in the end of the first movie, which they then kind of used to set up the iconic flying after the moving truck scene. It has a printed piece on the side that says the big one, which is what was on the rocket in the movie. This is another thing where the whole scaling doesn't work. You know, in the movie, the rocket was big enough that Buzz was like standing, was able to actually walk with it on, whereas this, it actually kind of looks like he's stuck and trapped to it. It's still a nice build, I guess. It's just size weird. So one thing I forgot to mention, though, is that this is how the instructions would tell you to put the figures on, and you would like kind of bend Buzz over with the rocket pointing out, so that when you launched it, it would look as if the rocket was propelling it, was propelling the RC car. So that's a nice, I guess, display feature. This does look good on display when it's like this. So for our final verdict here, it's really hard for me to rate this set because I have such a strong nostalgic connection to it. This was, at the time, probably my favorite Lego set I had back in early 2010. Because I was just such a big fan of Toy Story when I was a kid. And I still am. But the level of obsession I had with it when I was a child, and the being a fan of Lego, meshing these two things that I adored together was a win. And, you know, I didn't get a lot of the Toy Story sets, but the fact that there was a $25 or $6 set that gave you the two main characters, which is what everyone really wanted, it meant a lot to me back then. For these throwback sets, I'm not going to really rate them in the same way anyway, because most of these sets you can't get anymore. If you wanted to get this set, it would cost upwards of $50 to $60, depending on where you're trying to get it in the aftermarket. But on a nostalgia level, I'm going to give this set a 10 out of 10. Everything about this set, every time I look at it, it brings me back to a time when things were simpler. So let me know what you thought of the video. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Please leave a thoughtful comment. I'm always looking to improve my skills. I really do think this review came out better than the first review I just did. And now that this set's out, I'm about to do a thoughts video on the Toy Story 4 sets. So if you want to watch that after watching this video, please check it out. Until the next time, this is Samsonite Bricks, signing off until the next video. I remember shooting this down my hallway 9 years ago, and my review stand's falling down.